What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for being here. This is probably one of the most, or I would actually venture to guess this is one of the most exciting streams or excited I've ever been about a stream, because this is the inaugural Torus .win launch. This is the first stream on the day that Torus is launched after over a year and a half of building this thing out, of grinding to figure out how the hell I could put this thing together, make it happen. And here we are today where Torus is officially live on Ethereum mainnet. If you want the contract address, all the addresses, all the links, it's all in the description. And before we get into it, just be very cautious right now. Make sure that when you are clicking links or you're copying addresses, you cross-reference them to other official sources that are linked below. So you're just double and triple checking that if you're going to play with your funds you've worked so hard to get or earn, or however you've gotten them, you don't lose them. I don't want anyone to lose their funds from scammers. So here we are. So where do we even begin but help me welcoming the man, Smooth, founder of Flare. He's going to join me today for the stream. So I'm super excited. Smooth is just a super cool dude, and I'm always happy to hang with him. And I'm super stoked that he wanted to come on stream. So man, thank you for being here. This is a pretty big moment for me personally. And man, I know you've been through this before, so welcome, man. It's cool to have you on here.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been a minute since I jumped on stream, so when I had the opportunity to jump on tonight for the Torus release, I just kind of jumped at it, and I couldn't be happier for you, man. You put a lot of effort and time and brain power into this thing, and you've been tweeting about it and streaming about it and stuff like that. So I'm finally happy that it's finally out for you and that you can really dive into some different things. And I'm really excited. I think the DApp looks awesome. And people seem really excited, and just overall a great time.
Thanks, man. It's it's pretty surreal, honestly, to have this kind of come to fruition. And the timing of it too has been the most absurd thing. Like, I mean, I thought ETH and BTC were close to doing something, but there was no way in hell you would have told me, and I would have believed you if you said, oh yeah, you're going to launch on the day when ETH is going to tap 3K and BTC is going to crack all-time highs, and Titan the whole ecosystem is going to be pumping. It's like, no, there's no way, right? And I want to tell the story of Torus a little bit on the on how it came to this point. It's really weird, and I've spoken to many people about this. It's been crazy how this journey's gone. So when I first had the idea, it wasn't Torus. It was called Titanite, which was actually referring to a very very rare type of gem that kind of looks like kryptonite, as it's portrayed in the movies and all that. And so it was basically a call option on Titan based on the ETH inflow. And I was making that for about 6-7 months. And finally, I thought I was ready to build it, got the quote, and also got some feedback that this thing wasn't necessarily going to do great. And so I basically gave up on it. And at that point, I completely let it go. I posted the white paper, posted everything about this thing in a group, said, here you go, guys. If you want to build this thing, go for it. And immediately upon doing that, I freaked out because I had the idea hit me for what Torus was later going to be. And I scrambled, deleted the white paper. And fast forward to December, I thought I was going to launch in January. But unfortunately, due to some complications, I had to switch dev teams. And I basically had to change in February or end of January. Though I was ready to rock. I thought we were going to launch in January. So January was off the table. Get with this new dev team, and we're supposed to be 2 to 3 months, right? And we're going. It's taking a little bit longer, taking a little bit longer. There's more complexities coming up, and I was thinking, we were talking about Q1, end of Q1. Get the end of Q1, it's like, oh man, we haven't even done audits yet, and okay, Q2, beginning of Q2, and then we get into the audit process, and the audit process takes longer and longer and longer. Like literally, it was though we could not launch. And finally, at the end of June, coming to July, we were finally done all the audits and forced to make a decision of, okay, because for me, astrology has played enough of a role in the last while that I've witnessed that I ain't launching in Mercury retrograde. Hell no. So it's either before July 17th or after August 13th. And at this point, it was like, well, I can't wait. Everything looks like it's going to pop at some point soon here. So I don't know. I like July 10th. I talked to a friend. He's like, go to this date. It's an 8-day. And it happened to summarize or add Torus, which adds to a 3 numerologically, and an 8 to an 11, which I know you're a big fan of 11. So I was so stoked when I knew that was going to work out. And there you go. Right.
Yeah.
So
do you know what my number was before I got that? I used that number all high school and my junior year and senior year, but I was 38 for my freshman and sophomore year.
oh, really? Oh my God. That's cool.
Because 3 + 8 is 11. That's why I chose it.
That's badass. And now here we are talking about the 3 and the 8 again.
Yep.
That's a full circle cool moment. That's crazy. Cool. Man, life's trippy, dude.
Yeah.
So, oh man. So, but now, okay. So the amount of things that lined up on the day. So we decide 8th. Everything's looking like it could go either way. Today comes. It's a full moon. It's an 8-day. BTC hits all-time highs. ETH hits 3K, and Torus goes up 150%. While the whole Titanx ecosystem is also pumping 20+%. There was no way I had that on my bingo card. Even I was trying to hit that number on the bingo card. There's no way.
Yep.
So here we are. And you know what I'm going to do? I want to bring up the DAP for everyone to see, because we just talked a whole hell of a lot.
Yep.
I did. I won't throw you under the bus with my monologues as though it was you, but let me see here.
Hey, I think people really like hearing the background of how things kind of came to. So I think it's really important.
I appreciate that. That's why I like to tell it, because it's crazy. Like, it's honestly, this whole journey has been nuts. And I mean, if we were to go even further back, I look back even further, and the journey that this has been, for me personally, has been wild, because I got into this space, had a quick start, because I got into the pulse chain at the right time. I happened to present information in the right way, where people really liked it. My channel took off. But then it got rocky, and I didn't really know, what I wanted to do in this space. I didn't know really how I could bring value while still finding meaning in this, right? I didn't like being a journalist, the guy that was just like looking for views. It's just like, there's no value to me in that, right? And so I almost gave up, and I actually was going to leave this completely. I was done. And from being ready to completely walk away and being done with the space, being tired of the volatility, being tired of the hardship on the old emotions, to now being so far in that it's like the most deep you could possibly be in this space, is like the biggest bait and switch of my life. Yep. Doing it to myself. It's
just drastic.
Yeah, it's just been a crazy experience, man. It really has. And I'm also just thankful, because it's been so much. There's been so much learning.
Yep.
I've been able to connect with so many cool people. I mean, look at us on stream here. Look at the freaking Telegram group that is there. I mean, the amount of connections and people that I have the luxury of now calling friends and community is just unbelievable. And so it's just crazy how things have gone. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm excited to see how things go in the future, because I know that there's just going to be so much more learning to happen.
Yeah. And, it's going to be nice to see how this evolves, right? You have no idea how it's going to evolve. And, things take time, and it's just amazing to see, a new thing start every time. It's always so good, especially with a lot of thought put into it. And so, 710 is beautiful.
And we'll see. I hope this can do what I think it can do. But yeah, it's just going to be a wild ride, man. I'm very curious to see how this thing goes. And real quick, let me just, you go ahead first. I was going to hop in chat, but please.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, regardless of how this goes, you always can build more onto it, right? So this is like what you have right here is the first iteration of what this is going to be, because every little new thing you add to it, it's like cyberpunk or whatever, right? You get a whole new arm now, so you can really just upgrade this thing over time, just bringing more utility, more outside fees, all this stuff. So but nonetheless, this is a standalone project, which I love.
Yeah, that's well, it's such a good point, because this is truly only the beginning. Like, I don't know if anyone else will build on it, but we'll see what comes to fruition. But of course, I've got ideas. What I could see being built in this thing. Yep. So true. And then what's cool, and this is honestly my favorite part about building in the way that we all have, is that if we build something that works well, it actually impacts positively everyone else that's been contributing as well. And I think that's really cool. Like it's special.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And people genuinely will put percentages of, for me, right? I allocated 8% towards the Inferno LP and then the Inferno Bayern Boon forever, right? So it's people love doing that stuff and love supporting other projects. And I'm just excited to see who and what they build on this, because I know it's going to happen eventually. And it's going to be interesting to see how a new thing built on this plays in, and how much, liquidity it actually locks up with Torus. That's the most cool part to me.
Well, you know what? Maybe this is right after. I'm going to go to the comments real quick. I'm going to hang out with you guys. If there's questions that I see in the comments, I'm going to star them. We're going to get to them in a bit here, because I do want to make sure that I'm talking to you guys directly if you do have any questions about Torus. But real quick, I want to appreciate everyone that's here. Top reviews, Trees. I don't know how to say her name, so I'm just going to say it like that. Titan Joe, Iceman, my man. Good to see you here. We got NJ Dub. Great time, good time. I know it's crazy. K Flow, my man. I stream with this. K Flow is a legend. I stream with him now every Wednesday at 9 a.m. So if you guys want to come hang out with us, 9 a.m. We usually do a macro deep dive, and it's a ton of fun. So man, I always appreciate you being here. Foxy, this is one of the guys that was deeply embedded in creating Torus on the back end, and I'm incredibly grateful to you, my friend, for all that you have done to make this come to fruition. So, and that's on another note, that's the cool thing that I haven't talked about. I talked about, not on this stream, but many streams before, is just how many hands helped shape Torus, and maybe I'll go on a monologue on a different time, but that's another thing. It's like, I could never say I built it alone. It's like the amount of people that helped in some way with a comment, with a little bit of feedback, it's been unbelievable. So I'm just super appreciative. And I wish I did, but I actually don't know where the crystal ball is. I would love to use it more, though. That's the thing. Like, if I actually knew where it was, I'd be using it every day. So I think somehow I ended up with a horseshoe somewhere that I'm not aware of yet.
Haven't seen it.
Ahmed, I'll get to you. I see you still can't take your tours. What's the issue? I will get to you. I've starred your comment. Jerry says, congrats on your successful launch. All your efforts go unnoticed, and tip my hat to you both. I know you meant to say all your efforts don't go unnoticed.
No one sees them.
Yeah, no one sees what I'm doing. Yeah. No, I was like,
yeah,
that's I love that. That's hilarious. I love those. Let's see here. Ram, appreciate you being here. 10 equals new beginning. Exactly. 10's everywhere. 11's everywhere. 8's everywhere. K Flow again. All the changes helped. Man, all of them. Utah. Man, good to see you here. Utah's a legend. Shout out to Inferno X. Volatile is Unity launch. Okay. Again, I'm going to answer this in a little bit. I want to keep going here. But I've starred your comments. So don't worry. We are going to talk about that. Great to be here. We're still at Turbo Bottom, but vibes are great. Let's go. Dark OX. Like I said before, I really appreciate you being so positive over the last while. It's really cool to see you turn on the Jets and, be excited again.
Absolutely.
So, man.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see. I mean, he's riding in it, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Exactly. So, I mean, and I think, this is the start of a major positivity shift within the community as a whole. And I think we've already seen it personally. So, Fahad, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Albert, thank you. What an awesome day to launch. I know, it's crazy. Two of my favorite guys in the space. Go Torus. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. K-Flow, party time. Hey, I know this guy. Hold on. I clicked the wrong button. Isn't that you?
Yeah, it's me. Smash the like button.
Do it. Go do it. Smash it. Go follow Smooth. Go follow myself if you're on X. And make sure you're subscribed as well if you're on watching on YouTube. Because right now, the more content that comes out during this time where the bull's starting and people are looking for places to throw their ETH, throw their coins into protocols they want to, get some more gains with, this is the time to really make some noise. So that would be the best thing you could do if you want to support both of us. So, okay, yeah, Jerry, that's what I meant to say. Perfect. Did Torus cause the pump in Titan X? I would never venture to say yes to that. There's correlation is not causation. ETH is also pumping. So, I mean, you could say all sorts of variations of who did what. This is like the chicken versus the chicken and the egg kind of thing to me. Right. So I'm not going to go there. I think it's great timing. It just worked really well. Congrats on the launch, Q Baller. Sweet. So I want to bring up some stats because I found this really cool. Before we go to the buy and burn, I want to share the Titan X supply stats. So the total circulating supply, I couldn't tell you how much it decreased today. I know that there was a fair bit. There should have been maybe a handful of billion. So this should be a little bit lower than it was the day before. But what's cool is Torus is number 9 currently on the list. And the reason why this is cool is because if you look at how much Torus or Titan X is in LP, this is the thing that's like really cool for me personally. 416 billion is in LP. 374 billion is already locked in the protocol for a total of 821 billion. We're creeping up on a trillion, and we're only about 6 hours into the protocol. So I would say it's a fantastic start. And I'm really excited to see, because if we go back to the DApp, this is where I wanted to lead you guys was, let's go to burn. If we go to the buy and build, there is another 175 billion Titan X sitting in the buy, Torus, and build, I guess you could say, contract, or the liquidity building contract. Well, and there's a total of 40K essentially. And this is going to mean there's another 200 billion Titan X. Well, you could say probably about 100 billion after it buys Torus that'll go in. And the buy and burn is going to be depositing Torus as well. So basically all of this Titan X you're going to see here is going to end up in the pool. So that's going to be almost another 3, possibly even 400 billion Titan X that'll be in the liquidity pools in one way or another, whether it's buying and burning or just depositing for the sake of liquidity. So right now, Torus is, I mean, if we even go to the price, I want to show this here because this is one of the coolest things is, and I'm sure you went through this as well, is seeing a price chart for your token. Like,
yep,
this is a trip, man.
Yep,
this super cool. I mean, Torus is up currently about 100 and something % at the moment. I think it's coming down. It's coming down here a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down a little bit more. But this isn't the thing that I'm really caring so much about at all. What is really cool to see is the total liquidity of 158,000 right now at launch. And this is going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And if Titan X keeps pumping, so if Titan X has a 2X right now, this is 300K in liquidity. If the rest of the buy and build goes into the liquidity pool, that would mean about 400K liquidity very quickly. So this is why I wanted to design the liquidity side of the protocol to get so much liquidity into the pool so quickly. And it's really cool though. And I would love to hear, when you were building Flare, it's one thing, like I would love to hear your experience of this, because it's one thing to like envision, okay, how the liquidity is going to route and how the buy and burns are going to route and how all this is going to route. But then to see it in reality is like just a totally different experience, and it's really surreal.
Yeah. And, when you see something that you have cared about and that a buy and burn gets called, it ticks up, right? Someone sells, it drops down. You're like, it's weird because we think of so much with the actual tokenomics and the flow of the coin. We don't as much think of price as much, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
When we're thinking of how the tokens will do, you can obviously tailor it and make it as powerful as possible, but you have no idea what it's going to do, how much liquidity you got, right? It is very much so on day one. Let's see how it goes, kind of thing. And for you to have 150K in liquidity, that's freaking amazing. And especially at where we're at with Titan X, like, could be huge in the future.
And that was by design. So it's cool,
Yep.
like you're saying, when you design something some way and it actually starts to work. And, we've had decent participation, but we haven't had anything crazy. There's been almost $1 trillion that's gone through the protocol, which I think right now is, that's about 800 something billion, which isn't quite 200K, which that's still a ton of money.
Right.
It's still great, but that's nowhere near to what I think we can see once we get into the bull market. And this is, I think, when all the protocols are going to turn on the jets, and this is really going to come in handy for Torus. So what was I going to say here? There was a piece I really wanted to go to. Oh, right. So I wanted to really quickly explain something for you guys that are watching this. So if you've watched, I'm sure all of us here in the ecosystem have talked about like the importance of watching the ratios with the tokens in the Titan X ecosystem. And I really want to point out to you guys that how to, get an idea of Torus and where it's at relative to Titan X. So this blue line I have here at the 10 million ratio is the starting ratio for where the system launched with Torus, right? So what that means is this is where if you were to go into the system and create, you would be break even before what you've earned is calculated at this ratio here. This ratio creeps up over time, but when the system or the price of Torus creeps down below this, it's more likely that staking becomes a mechanic that will be more impactful in the system. Obviously, there's so many strategies, and I'm not telling you to do anything with your money, but this is how you can begin to understand Torus. And one of the things that I do want people to understand is this also increases over time. So what you're going to see is this floor that I'm speaking of, where this baseline for 88-day creations, as far as a break even on what you put in before what you've earned is calculated, you're actually going to have and let me just put this to a daily chart. You're actually going to have a slow rising floor like this. And this is important to understand because the USD chart tells a story of, how your personal bags or how the token's doing in USD value. But this actually shows you where the system is at in its health and then how it's working relative to those floors. And I know this for some of you might be a little bit maybe more advanced, but for those of you who can comprehend this, or for those of you that want to learn, this is super important to look at, to understand Torus, to be able to utilize it properly, to be able to see trends, make the most of it. And I really want you guys to make the most of it, because this is the point of Torus. It's like I wanted to bring something that was going to create incredible value, be a long-term protocol, and really be a win for everybody involved, across the board, user-centric, protocol-centric. It's got to be both, in my opinion. So I could keep monologuing, but am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Cool. Easy. Well, let's go look at what's in the buy and burn. Let's go look at some more stats, and let's share this one instead. So let's go to the earn page. So you're going to see some big numbers, and I'm going to explain why there's a 60,000% ROI sitting here. Because does that kick in your FOMO at all there, Smooth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, it makes me want to get a little bit more. When you see the 60K, it's hard not to. It's one of those numbers that it's like, if I only had this much of a return, kind of thing.
That's why we're having this next discussion, which is why we got to talk about what this number is and how it works, and why I've put the words estimated ROI and also estimates drop as new participants join based on current participation. Now, this means what these estimated ROIs and estimated drop, this little slogan here, is saying is that for every person that comes into the system and does a longer or a max length creation, they're going to significantly lower what people are earning, because people's ROI comes from two aspects: the price of Torus, or I guess three aspects: the price of Torus, the amount of tokens that they've created, and the amount of tokens that they've earned. And so this ROI is going to show you based on people that are currently in the protocol, which cannot be totally true because it is projecting into the future what it can't predict, right? So what this is basically more so telling you is that creating is currently more profitable than staking, right? That's the main takeaway at the moment, but you can play these all sorts of ways. But if someone comes in and starts creating a bunch, this is going to go lower and lower and lower. And so the way to understand the real ROI is to come down to the active creations tab when you have an active creation, and to see your earned Torus and your current ROI by the day, because this is where you're really going to see, and you're going to be able to share your ROIs daily, which I ask everyone to. When you have an ROI, which for those, if the ROI stays anything like it will be right now, there's going to be some pretty massive ROIs even for just day one. Please share those on X. Please blast those out. Tag Torus. Just create as much content on social media as you can around this protocol right now. Yep. While the Ethereum is starting to get some momentum, the people are starting to look for protocols. But this, every day people come in, this is going to lower, which means every day your ROI that you're getting on average is going to slowly go down unless there's a flat line. And I really want people to understand this, so you don't think that this is a guaranteed. This is why I have estimated in this, because you look, if you were to come in right now, put $2,000 in, it's saying that you're going to get $1.2 million out, right? And that would be true if nobody else was going to come in the protocol. So again, does that make sense? Do you want to add anything to that? Anything you should think people that would be helpful to make people really understand the creation ROI?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, the buffet theory, right? We have this much food. Whoever wants to come and eat as much as they want, get as much as you want. But at a certain point, the food's going to start thinning out with way more people coming, Mm-hmm. So the ROI for this, if you get in early, you get those days, but you also get a little bit behind or in front of the newcomers as well.
Yep, exactly. Well, and I'll answer this question because it's relevant. Is there a day 10, 50, 1,000 that you think you're late to get in? And thank you for the question, JLJ. It really depends on participation and when that participation comes. That's the only answer I can really give, because if people pile in tomorrow and it stays that way, well, being early was day one, right? And everything else is kind of late in that aspect. But, if 10, 50, 100, 365 days go by and there's relatively small amount of users, you could still potentially be quite early by getting in at that point in comparison to the rest of the world, right? So it depends on time horizons that you have personally and participation, and how that builds. So it's hard. And here's the thing too, is like, if you get in now and the price goes way up over the bull run and comes way down again, and you get in at the bottom there, and there is still mass participation, but then the price goes back up over the next bull run, like 10, 100, whatever many X's, right? I mean, then you're technically still early, you know? So it's like, it's hard to early is a hard thing to quantify, and calling someone late is also hard to quantify. Because I mean, even if you got in a BTC at 15K, yeah, you're late, but like you still got like an 8x so far. And for most people, it's huge.
Yeah. And you got to think Bitcoin is only 16 years old. So is getting in right now, when we're talking about, 24 years in the future, when it's 40 years old, are we early right now? It's the same kind of thing, right? It's when's the best time to, plant a tree? It was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now.
Yep. That is the truth, man.
Yep. And then every day, this is kind of how it is. I'm like, that price that I saw the other day, I'm like, that's not really, I'm not in early, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then you see it a week later, you're like, wow, I missed that.
I was early.
Yep, I actually was.
It's tricky, man. That's why it's really hard to win in this game, because it's just so volatile and so easy to think you're late when you're early and you're early when you're late, and most people, that's why people sell tops or sell bottoms and buy tops, because people think they're early when they're late and they're late when they're early, because of the difficulty of the space. So it's a bit of a pain, but here we are. And that's why when you make gains, they're usually outsized gains, right?
Yep.
So let's see here. If you stake using Titanx and ETH, it's just bought on the back end. No. So I'm glad you brought this up. I know there's two other questions, but this is relevant because we're in the DApp right now. Let's transition over to staking. So when you're in the DApp and you're creating, just for those of you who are watching that haven't created yet or thinking about it, you can choose two options. You can either come in and use ETH, or you can come in and use Titanx. So if you do choose ETH, then what's going to happen is the system is going to take that. It's going to buy and burn some Titanx immediately, and it's going to store the ETH in the buy and burn, the buy and build, and get it ready to basically purchase Titanx first and then purchase Torus. If you're participating in Titanx, basically as straightforward as it gets. Bring your Titanx, select your power. For every one power you select, it's 1 million Titanx. I'll show you. So 1 million Titanx, 10 million Titanx, 100 million Titanx, and all the way up to 1 trillion. And so if you wanted to spend the equivalent of 1 trillion Titanx in ETH, you totally could. And what's cool, if you're a whale, you could actually, maybe right now, you'd save a little bit on slippage. I don't know if you see the difference here, but 193,000 versus 207. So if you're a whale, just saying, bring on the ETH. But let's go and talk about the stake here. So when you're staking, first things first is you need Torus, right? You have to have Torus because that's what you're staking. These fees here, which you can, again, choose in ETH or Titanx, right? These fees are in addition to the Torus that you're going to stake. So you stake 1,000 Torus or whatever for up to 88 days, and you go ahead and you also pay 500 million Titanx, or you also pay 0.0334 ETH, or $100 essentially. So again, Torus is what you're staking. In addition to that, you must provide Titanx or ETH that needs to be in your wallet. Does that make sense? Is that clear?
Yeah. And I really love that, because not only is it, you are adding more capital and more firepower to what is already firing at a pretty high rate. It's get in with your Torus, but also add to it, and it's going to use it properly and help this stake.
Yep. Well, and honestly, this is something that I think is going to become more of a normalized understanding as time goes on. But I foresee staking being now this has nothing with profitability. This has nothing to do with how users can make gains, make ROI. This is just systemically. This mechanic here, staking, is, in my opinion, by far the most powerful mechanic in the system. There's nothing that comes even close to it. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you understand how staking works across time, as the supply expands, you'll understand that they're literally like Titan-X, the supply doesn't stand a chance, especially if this maintains any sort of relevancy or relevance. There's demand at all. So let me explain this to you. So what this currently means, if we're looking at the staking amount here, 1,000 Torus for 88 days takes in 500 million Titan-X. So what we could also deduce is that for every 1,000 Torus in supply, there's 500 million Titan-X that needs to be input into the system if everyone wants to stake, right? So as the supply goes further and further out, let's say to day 867, where the supply is cut in half in terms of the difficulty, meaning now 500 Torus costs 500 million Titan-X to stake for 88 days. This means that around that time, there's going to be a little bit less than 60 million Titan-X. So if you were to divide 60 million by that 500 number, and you multiply, I know this is hilarious to say on stream because it's, but if you multiply all this, you'll see like it's going to start taking an insane amount of Titan-X to stake the entire supply. And this keeps growing as the Torus that can be staked for depositing 500 million Titan-X goes down. The amount of total Titan-X that can come into the system via staking is going up at such an immense rate that it's crazy. Like, I recommend everyone taking some time to really understand this, because once you understand the staking aspect, you're going to understand the real power of Torus. Creation's cool. Creation's awesome. And I love it. And the buy and burn's awesome. The buy and build. But the staking is really what makes this protocol something different, in addition to all the other little nuanced pieces. So, I think we need to bring back the phrase, you don't have enough Titan-X. We should actually start the saying, there's not enough Titan-X in supply.
Yeah, right. There really isn't. I mean, this is very, very powerful. And, this is all in the white paper. If it doesn't, when you talk about it, obviously we have the DApp, but the white paper has a lot of this written down very specifically. So you can just reread this multiple times. And with this amount of Titan-X that you need to actually get in later on, it's, very powerful in doing a max length stake and just seeing, kind of how that affects what happens. It's very crazy to see like more and more Titan-X come in with the Torus amount of the supply kind of growing. I'm just really interested to see how that goes.
Me too. It's man, it's gonna take some time, Yep. It's a slow burn. It's kind of like the Titan-X supply is now in the pot. The burner has been turned on, and it'll take maybe a couple few years for this to really take off. Doesn't mean staking is not going to have a very important role in the meantime and not be very powerful and impactful in the protocol. But this is a different level that we're talking about, where now it's not just helping Torus. Now it's putting some serious pressure into Titan-X that could have some seriously positive feedback loops for everyone built on Titan-X, right? And I know these are a little bit more abstract things, but I want to keep planting them in people's minds, because this is going to be a very real thing that people are going to see slowly starting to occur. And I really want people to get Torus. I want people to get how this ecosystem works, because the more people understand, the better decisions they can make, the more likely they're going to win by making any decision. And so I'm always happy to go on the deep end and give away the alpha, so to speak, in terms of like what this protocol can really do. But on that note, maybe let's go to the buy and burn. Let's look at what's happening in the buy and burn, the buy and build, the fractal. So right now the buy and burn has about $28,000 in between the ETH and Titan-X. And if you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, why is there $1.26 in the next buy and burn. No one's going to click that. You'd be correct, and this is not an error. So what's happened here is this means that the buy and burn is currently set to 1% of the contract balance per day, which means that over 144 calls, $90, or I guess it'd be a little bit more than $90, is going to be basically broken up into those chunks to burn over the course of the day. So while the balances are low, this is why this is here. Now, again, this can be turned up to 10% or all the way down to 1%, but it can never be turned off. So while these balances are a little bit lower, this might stay this way. This might jump up. But just understand that's why these are so small at the moment. Now, the buy and build has $5,000 in ETH and $36,000 in the buy and build, which I think that's fantastic. That's because this is all going to liquidity. So this is another, a couple $100 billion. Titanx is going to go to liquidity, and this is only going to keep growing. Same, and how this works is the same as the buy and burn. So if you guys want to click it, you come here, connect your wallet, trigger the buy and build. You're going to get a little reward, and you're going to, and this will also keep building until someone clicks it as well. So just wait. If you want to click the button, go for it. But if you want to wait for a little bit bigger user reward, definitely wait for it. There's no harm, no foul in that. But we've got 40K there. We have another 30K. So we have 70K in the buy contracts, as well as another, I guess it would be 27,000.
Yep.
So we're sitting pretty damn good. We're almost at 100K.
I was about to say.
In the total contract for the buy and burn, the buy and build, and the fractal. Now, the fractal, for those of you guys who don't know, is basically the vortex with a twist in the name and the days that it takes for the fractal to release the tokens. So every 110 days, the fractal, this vault specifically for the buy and burn, will release these funds back into the buy and burn, and then it will begin storing more as more people are participating in Torus, submitting Titanx or ETH deposits to either stake or create. And I actually hadn't realized we were at the 100,000 roughly dollar mark, which is fantastic. I mean, didn't realize that. That's super cool.
Yeah. And the fractal is amazing for knowing that in 110 days from now, no matter what happens with the buy and burn, the buy and build, whatever it is, that's right there ready for an injection. And it's just so awesome to see and have confidence that no matter what happens on the other ones, they still got this. I love that. And it's a very powerful thing for the consciousness, of the holder, really.
Oh, yeah. I think Jake nailed it when he came up with the idea for the vortex. And I'm going to give him full credit. Like, that was a brilliant idea on his part to have that stored on the side and then wait for a specific point to be entered back into the system. I think that was a genius move. I mean, among many other things he's come up with to just touch on it. I mean, so full credit to Jake for the idea, and just took a little twist, made it. I gotta put the 11s in there, man. I gotta make it sound like it's Torus and there's energy and there's like all that stuff, magnetic fields. So had to make it on brand. But that is that for the buy and burn build and the fractal. Now the final one I want to show you guys. This one's wild to me because when we were going to launch, we were looking to launch a few days ago, and looking at this day as the launch, the price of Titanx was about 6015. We're like way up, and Torus is way higher than I expected it to go on launch, which is fine. It's going to correct itself perfectly, or sustain itself, or maybe go up. I don't know. But here we are at $8.70 per Torus token, which means, and Torus launched at $1. It's supposed to launch at $1.50.
Wow.
So this means that the first day's payout is 100,000 Torus, right? That you, if you want to stake, or you, if you want to create, can earn, because both creators and stakers are earning from the same pool. They're competing with one another, actually, which actually is one of the things that makes Torus unique. But because Torus is $8.70, the first day's payout is $870,000.
It's not a bad day's work.
Man, oh my God. I don't even know what to say. That's insane, man.
Yeah, it from the mind to reality. It's awesome to see not only the payout, but the kind of lights rolling around the Taurus symbol behind and stuff. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it is just how it's all unfolded and where it's sitting right now is just wild. And I mean, I got to shout out also Mike Dean, because Mike is a savage. He works so hard. He's actually created already a full Titan X Hub portfolio integration with Torus. So you can actually go to titanxhub.com and you can see your creations, how much they're worth, their ROI, how much is claimable, so how much you've earned, your progress, and when they end. I believe it's when they end as well as ended. You can also see your Torus stakes, all the same data, but that was like hours, man. I mean, I don't know if he's watching this. I think it's a little late for him, but when you watch this, and I've said this to you already, but I'm going to say it again, dude. Thank you for all that you do for the Titan X ecosystem, and now for Torus. I mean, Mike's a legend, and if you haven't followed him on X, please do. If you haven't checked out Matrix, please do. That's all I can say, because I mean, dude's just a freaking legend.
Yeah, he is very quick on his turnaround of different things, and he was just he said, well, I got to make this for Torus. I'm waiting for a contract address. The moment he gives me that, I'll pretty much do it. He's very, I mean, he started out like Titan X Hub. It's the craziest evolution from Excel sheet that we all had to what it is now. It's remarkable.
Yep. Dude, that Google Excel, or that Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Man, that was legendary. And
it was awesome. I was like, this is exactly what I needed.
I know, it was perfect. And now not only do we have like that in its ultimate form, it's gone so far past, which is a testament to Mike's creativity, to Mike's vision, to his work ethic, and how he's just constantly trying to see or push the envelope to what he can come up with, how he can make it better. And I mean, we have the luxury of saying we have guys like Mike in our community, among many other legendary community members that have put in so much work, that have helped Titan X, helped the community, built so many protocols, streamed, created content. The list goes on. So like I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm just incredibly proud, and I feel fortunate, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this community with so many amazing people that are putting in so much amazing effort and creating so much amazing stuff. Like Flare. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the Flare.win website, I mean, that is a work of art. I love that website. I love what Flare is, and the cherry on top was the website as well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I kind of went with futuristic planet, but kind of like 80s vibes, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. Like Neo Tokyo kind of, I don't know. It's I love looking at it. It's basically my background of my computer, to be completely honest.
That speaks volumes, man. When you love your DAP that much, I mean, that's best case scenario. I love that. So let's see, what else can we talk about here before we what else do I got we can talk about here on the Torus front, if anything else? I mean, I
have a question for you. It's a quick one. So the staking is an 88-day max stake, right? Or
max,
can you go higher than that? Yeah. So you have an 88-day max stake, but then you have a 110-day fractal, which it's very crazy if you stake, you're going to be out of staking by the time the fractal comes around, unless you restake or whatever. So just, kind of play that, because the other ones were longer stakes, 88-day fractal or whatever, or vortex. So I'm interested to see how you think that's going to play out.
Well, the one thing that was cool about the design of thinking about the days is that every 8 cycles of 88 from day one, the those who are participating every like religiously are going to end their creation or stake, whatever they're doing, on the day that the fractal actually comes out. So every 880 days. That's a long way in the future. But that's another little bit of game theory. And I mean, I planned it that way. So, you know, sometimes the fractal will release before, or sorry, after these cycles. And then the next time, one of the next times it might land before. And so it's like, it's evenly spread out, you know, so it's not, it can't be, it's not always this predictable thing where it's always getting further and further or further away. Then, you know, or skipping one. So sometimes it gets closer, sometimes it gets farther. And then it has this, it lines up every 880 days. But I'm curious to see how people play that. I'm not really sure how much that will play into people. Like, what's your take on it? When you're thinking about the fractal, are you thinking like you would play that, or the fractal comes into your decision making?
I kind of would think that, only because, like, obviously, if you did an 88-day stake, awesome, you get it out. But most people, when they stake something, usually when they get the stake out, they don't necessarily restake it immediately. They want to hold it. They want to kind of think what they're going to do with it. And then obviously some people are restaking, but then it's like, you know, you could go in 12 days from now or 22 days from now, start a full length stake, and then hit it on fractal day, you know? So I would play it a specific way, I think, because if it's going to be another injection, you know, maybe I want it a little after fractal ends, you know, or happens. So,
well, you said something in there that I've seen this misconception with others, is that the staking, you could just go shorter stakes and it's still the same amount of Titan-X. I'm going to show you something here. Watch what happens to the deposit amount. I'm going to keep my Torus amount the same, but I'm going to lower the length. Watch the deposit in Titan-X terms. Okay, so let's go 80. Oh, not 880, 80. 550 million to stake 1,000 Torus.
Yep.
Let's go to 70 days. Now it's 628 million. Let's go down to 44. Now it's $1 billion to stake 1,000 for 44 days. And if you go to 28 days, now you're paying quite a bit more. And if you go down to like shorter, like let's say 11 days,
you're paying a lot. You're
paying $4 billion to stake 1,000 tokens, 4 billion Titan-X.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right next to $1.
Freudian slip for the future. There it is, right there. You heard it here first, folks. And if you go a day, it just gets ridiculous. Like 44 billion for staking for a day. 44 billion Titan-X for staking for a day. And you only get 0.21 Torus. That would be a big ouchie. So I wanted to make sure everyone understands that, because it's not just like the shorter you go, the not only do you earn less, but you pay more. So staking, well, this is the whole system as well. If we go to the creation side too, and we have 10,000 power, which is 1,000. And hey, check this out. Notice how the estimated ROI has already gone down by 6,000% in the time that we've been on stream here. That just shows you the more people come in, the quicker this is going to go down. So anyways, though, if I go to let's say a 44 day, it's still going to cost me 10 billion, but I'm only going to create 500 now. And here's the kicker. Look at the shares. So creating today with 10 billion Titan-X will get you 7.744 million shares. If I cut the length in half, I get over 7 times less for half the length of the shares in the system. And if we look at the estimated earned Torus, there's 8.7 thousand. So 8,783. If I delete this and go 88, remember 8,783, look at the difference in estimated earned tokens. So you're paying more, you're getting less share in the system, you're earning less and you're getting less created Torus on the creation side, and you're paying significantly more to stake. This is the big thing I really want people to understand about this system, and why, everyone can do whatever they want, but you need to understand that the further you go from 88 days, the higher risk game you're playing by significantly increasing margin. Now, if you know what obviously people can do what they want. But it's super important for people to understand this. And actually, I'm going to bring this up because I would love to hear. I'm not going to comment on it unless maybe we'll see. But I'd be curious to hear, because QC Organics is saying sounds like Hex but weak. And hey, I'm fine with teach their own, man. I don't care what anyone's opinion is, but I'm curious. When you see that, what comes to mind?
I don't really see that it's not really like Hex, in my opinion, right? There's way more different stuff kind of happening. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a bit of sorry, I'm totally putting you on the spot here. And I'm not looking for anything. I'm just genuinely curious, like what comes to mind when you see people saying sounds like Hex but weak. Because
I would read the white paper. There's a lot more stuff happening that just seeing a create or just seeing a stake happening is not really showing. This Torus website is meant to be the most user-friendly thing for how much stuff is actually happening. So yep. I don't think it is like Hex really at all. And I think it's powerful. But just like Hex, this is a forever thing, right? It's not a what is it right now versus what that is right now. You know what I mean? So,
and we'll see. I appreciate sharing that, because I think, we don't know ultimately how this thing is going to perform. And I appreciate you saying what you did about, the white paper, because you nailed it. I literally created the DApp to be so simple that like your grandparents could come here and with maybe a little bit of instruction, if they're completely new to this, they could figure it out.
Yeah.
But that is not a representation of the sophistication that and thoughtfulness and all the mechanics and the nuance of the system. What people, and maybe yourself, QC, Torus is actually borrowing the same delayed gratification concept from Hex, but instead of having people chuck their funds out 15 years, the pool dilutes over time. No extra funds, if there's a buy and burn, can come in and replenish the system. Instead of having that, I've divided it into 88-day cycles, which cause a reflexive system, which recreates periods of demand, causes people to constantly be bringing in economic energy, and actually penalizes people that want to come in and do rolling stakes like we saw in Hex. If you want to do rolling stakes, or if a Dragon X was going to come and be built on Torus, guess what's going to happen? You're actually going to cannibalize yourself, because if you want to make the most of the system, you actually want to get the supply, you need to continue to play. If you play once and then just try to extract value, the system just pulls it away from you. The only way to actually play this game for the long haul is to go in over and over and over and over and over. And that's where the delayed gratification is. It's actually a higher test, because now there's no, like, the penalties in Torus are super forgiving. You can't ever lose your principal. And so in this, I would actually argue in this respect, Torus is actually even more so a test of delayed gratification, because on the creation aspect, you get your tokens every 88 days, but the real test is when if I come to you every day with, hey, do you want your $100 now or tomorrow, right? Or whatever that would be, you have to look at it, hold it first, and then say no and give it back, right? That's a completely different test than clicking a button that says, I'm going to lock up for 15 years and, just having to literally wait. It's just different. And it's not saying it's better or worse, but it's actually potentially more difficult, because you have to be the one to choose to keep going back in and delay that gratification. So this is all part of what you'll find in the white paper. And I appreciate you, Smooth, saying that, because it's true. I would really go read the white paper, because if you've been watching my content for a while and you've been reading the book that I put out and reading all the documents and the blogs and everything that I've done, you'll know I studied hex immensely, immensely. I modeled this thing out. So I know hex so well. I know hedron and icosa so well. I know Titanx so well. And this is the love child of all that. And so if you think for a moment that all that complexity and the concepts that were embedded deeply into those isn't in Torus, I would implore you to come into the Telegram, hang out with me on the voice chat, read the white paper, and take this opportunity to learn a little bit more before coming to conclusions. Like, this sounds like hex but weak.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said it great.
I don't know how else to say it, man. It's like, it's just right. How it's designed. It's just
and it's okay to be, like you said, a love child of all these different projects. I mean, that's how Titanx started, right? And the best inventions are improvements on old inventions, right? It always is like that. So I think what you designed is very thought out, and this is another let's see what happens kind of thing. And it's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, well, you're completely right on. We'll see what happens, because it's like, you can design something in quotations perfectly, right? Yep. The market's not ready. Wrong day, wrong audience, wrong name, right? Wrong color. I don't know, wrong founder, doesn't like, and things cannot work out. So when I talk about this in terms of like, it's built to be more powerful in some ways than some of the concepts we're familiar with in something like hex, that does not guarantee success. But what it means is, like you said, it was an adaptation to try and build something that's more powerful, that can be and could very well be huge. But for me, it's like, why would I design something? I mean, the way I wanted to go about this is, how can I build something that, if it's successful, could literally handle billions of dollars?
Yep.
What would it need? That's this, right? So we'll see. We'll totally see.
Yeah. And what I'll say as well is, the biggest thing is whose time horizon is the real test on how successful a project is, right? Is it 1 month from now? Is it 6 months from now? Is it a year? Is it 10 years, right? Like, who's to say when it is a success or a failure? That's how I mean, I'm the longest on crypto you can be. So right now is like, it's amazing, right? 20 years from now, what does it look like? Right. So I love the aspect of a forever project. And this is what this is. It really is.
Well, it sounds like you and I are going to be streaming for the next 20 years together. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's exciting in and of itself, And I think you hit the nail on the head, though. It's like, your personal time horizon can be very different. Like, when you were designing Flare and I'm designing Torus, we're thinking like, what we see as a success might be completely different, or a failure, right? May look completely different than the users. Because if you're thinking, I want this to make me $1 million X in a month, and we're thinking like, I don't care what happens in a month, it's got so much infrastructure to build out, you might think it's a failure, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out how that could even be possible to be a failure, and you could also be saying, it did its job, it was super success, I made X amount of percent gain. And you, Smooth, and I could be like, well, no, that's a drop in the bucket. That's not success yet. Right. Yeah. And so this is the cool thing about having, markets time horizons versus the founders time horizons. And why, if you even look at, reflect on like what Jake's been doing, I think Jake's actions and the way he's been handling things is a perfect representation of like, he knows what's best for his protocol. He knows the time horizon. He knows how this thing should play out over time, what's a success and what's a failure, and he's acting accordingly, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make some people super happy, but this is something to understand. So I think you just said it beautifully, man.
Yeah. And, you know, this is a long term game, right? I want everybody to realize nothing in life is taken for granted. This stuff is new. This stuff is like experimental. And we're all trying to build our own financial institutions, but in a decentralized meritocracy, right? And we want everybody to help build that. And that's what we're trying to put our flag in the ground and try to build something that we would like to build. And, you know, that we talk about people in private equity on Wall Street, whatever. And it's like, those guys are just making all this money. And it's like, why? They're in their own financial markets. They made these markets. They're going to make money in the markets they made. Right. And now we're making our own market, but in a decentralized way and more fair in reality.
Well, and I love the addition you said, the decentralized meritocracy, because that's really what the ethos of this community really is. And I mean, it's produced amazing stuff consistently, you know? So it's really cool to be here right now, being this early, like creating the new Wall Street on the blockchain and creating all these opportunities, the infrastructure for a sector and a full sphere that is yet to realize anywhere even close to its full potential. So this is just really freaking exciting to be here right now. And hey, 20 years of riding this wave is going to be so exciting. And I think having the community that we have, it's going to be a lot of fun. And hey, we're going to see people come and go. That's the nature of the beast. Some people are going to win so big they're going to retire. Some people are going to lose and they're going to leave. And some people are going to stay the whole time, you know? It's the nature of the beast, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick, I'm going to go to Volatile's comments and then we'll go to the Star because there's a couple questions. And then I'll open up the floor to anyone else that has questions on Torus. And then I'd like to talk about Flare. Let's talk about Titan X and how things are going on that and how things are going with you. And let's start with Volatile, which he's asking is Torus Unity's testnet? I need the meme with Bugs Bunny where he's saying like, no. That's the first thing that comes to mind. They're independent and I mean, they're both going to perform very different, I think. Torus, actually, I could see a world where, you know, Unity actually gets, because you're saying, I feel like the participation on Torus will be far greater than Unity's. I could actually see the inverse, because if Torus does really well, I could see people undervalue it initially, right? Unity comes out, people overvalue the next one. And so the actual time to get into one of those two types of protocols was, in terms of just profitability, right? If we're comparing this specific hypothetical situation, would have actually been in Torus, right? We'll see. But ultimately, Unity is a different product because what it's built on top of completely changes the value of the system, not for better or worse, but how it will act, how it will behave, and over what time horizon, right? Because Pulse Chain has a very different ecosystem, different founder, different set of circumstances, different community, different value proposition. Though there are similarities between the two in a lot of respects, they're just so different that you can't say because Torus and Unity are the same system that, you know, they're going to perform the same at all. I think Unity is going to be a lot of fun. I think Unity is going to turn a lot of heads. And I can't wait. They're just different. They're so different.
Yeah. And what I'll add to that as well is not participation, whatever, but seeing Torus play out at least will give somewhat of a guideline and kind of feel for how Unity is going to go. Not necessarily the price. I'm not talking about that, but just how the actual tokenomics are going. And, you know, some people need to see it happen over a month. Some people need to see it over 2 months, right? And for that math to actually click in their head. And it's like, that's what that means, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Anytime new, like really new things come out, it takes time for people to understand. I mean, like, I'm not going to compare Torus to Hex or Titan X for the sake of like what it could possibly do, but I am going to compare them in the sake where like they were new. people didn't understand the T shares. People didn't understand the mining, or people didn't understand the mechanics of mining so much, and the buy and burn. And so you can see that there's, like, if you look at the beginning of Hex, I mean, it was undervalued and then shot up to over 10,000x, right? And obviously it was a journey to get there. But Titan X, you can see people value it in day one. And then by day 33, all of a sudden people start flooding the system, creating miners, because they're like, whoa, what? This thing's insane. And so just on that point alone of just the newness of things, there's usually that delayed reaction before people it's out and people actually understand it. And so first, I'm hopeful that delayed reaction, is a powerful delayed reaction. But I would love to really see that just play out, because I'm certain that it will happen to some degree. And you can even see Torus as a microcosm between that delayed reaction as well, where Torus is people figuring it out. Unity is people's reaction to figuring it out, right? And be like, oh, I get it now. Okay, now I see it. Now's my opportunity to get it on day one of another version of the system. So, I mean, again, we'll see. I've designed it as well as I could, and we'll ultimately see how it goes. Utah, after you cover Flare, maybe Smooth can drop some 6. Okay.
Put me on the spot. That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal on this one. All right. So let me just go to the starred comments real quick. We'll get to there's only 2 right now. And again, this is open invite to anyone that's watching right now. Toss your comments on screen, whether you're watching on X from Smooth's channel, or from my X, or YouTube, or Smooth's YouTube, or my Torus YouTube. Toss the comments up. Let's start with Ahmed. Still can't stake my Torus. What's the issue? I received something went wrong message. So like I said, you do need you need Torus to stake, because you're staking Torus, right? The system is not taking your Titan X, buying and staking it for you. You need Torus, and you need Titan X or ETH in addition. If that is the case, that you have all that, and it's still not working, go to the link in the description below, go to the Telegram, and I'm going to be having VCs basically daily in there. And I want to make sure that I can help you ASAP. So go and start sending some messages. I can help you over text in the TG. There's the official room. And we'll get you figured out. Only reason I'm saying that is because I don't see any follow-up details. So that's as far as I can get you. And that's the easiest way for me to help you get that all under control there. So another comment from Volatile is Unity launch far away. It's in the process of being finalized, of being built right now. I would say that Unity is probably a little bit of a ways out, like a month, 2 or 3, because I want to give ample time for Torus to shine, to be able to market and focus on Torus. And also for Unity, like when I bring Unity out, I don't want it to really be interfering with all this initial hype that is with Torus, or taking away from Unity. I want Unity to shine. I want to bring as much attention to PulseX and Unity and Pulse as possible during that period as well. So I'm going to, if it's a month, if it's 3 months, if it's 4 months, it's going to be far enough away, or at a time when it's optimal for Unity to launch and Unity to take the spotlight, and not have Torus and Unity detract from one another, right, during Unity's launch phase. Let's see. I think we got a couple extra comments here. Did you yourself calculate the starting price of Torus or Unity, or is it based on participation? The starting price is based on a starting ratio. So the starting ratio will be different for PLSX to Unity versus what it is for Titan X to Torus. So Titan X and Torus started at a 10 million Titan X per 1 Torus was the starting ratio. As I wanted the starting price for a creation for 10,000 power to be around $1,500. That was like my starting point. So you can do some loose math and figure that out pretty quickly. I'm not going to do that on stream. Last time I did math, I got everything wrong live on stream. So I'm not going to even go anywhere near that. It was great marketing, but I ain't touching that again. So it's not based on participation at all. It's actually based on the systemic design of how I want the valuation of the system as a whole to start, if that makes sense. And Bali Bill is saying staking worked for me. If you're in Bali right now, my friend, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's beautiful where you are. I love Bali. I was there. Have you been to Bali?
I have not. It sounds amazing.
It's beautiful. I was there a couple years ago, and I mean, driving there is like Mario Kart, man. Especially if you're on a scooter. I was in Ubud, and my God, dude, it's crazy there. It's like everyone's going both directions, and people are going to oncoming traffic, but oncoming traffic doesn't care, and it's like you're almost hitting people, and it's literally like Mario Kart, and the shells are oncoming because they're the cars, but there's no banana peels. Well, I guess sometimes there are, because there's some trash every once in a while, but beautiful place. So Bill, hope you're enjoying Bali. And now, without further ado, I think that's it for the comments. Dude, Smooth, tell us about Flare. Tell us about what you're seeing. Tell us how things are going. And what do you got for us for the alpha on the 6-pack club?
I'm not gonna leak too much. I'll
tell it all, man. It's now or never.
I'll start with 6-pack. What we've been saying, this is a protocol, this is utility. It's something that, it's going to be a big project, and it has been a big project, and it's been taking a lot longer than expected. I mean, obviously we both know how that goes. But
oh yeah,
what I will say is we are really, really close to say what it is publicly. I mean, we couldn't be closer. We had a super long testing day today, yesterday. We're having one tomorrow. So everything's getting dialed in, and trust me, this is going to be amazing, I think. And yeah, so basically it's really close to being a public thing. So at least I could say that.
Amazing. Okay. So what is it?
Yeah, right.
No, I hear you. I can't wait to hear about this. You guys have been alluding to this for so long now in the spaces. James has been there every Sunday, just teasing us a little more, talking about the 6-pack club, talking about its platform. It's not just a protocol. I can't wait, man. It's is there anything else you can say? Like what? So it's true what James was saying. It's a platform. It's not a protocol. Is that correct?
It's a platform. It's a platform.
Okay.
There's no token. There's no token.
There's no token. Okay. I mean, guys, if you have questions, now's your chance to ask. I don't know how much we can squeeze out of him here.
That's probably maxing out.
Okay. I won't press. I just want to know too. Yeah. I'm excited for you guys because the fact that you have 6 of you guys working together, 6 gigabrains in one room. I mean, I can only imagine what's going to come out of that. And that's really exciting. So
yeah, these calls have been long. They are very, very long calls. But what I will say, it's been an amazing team that we just put together. I mean, it just really fell together, and I couldn't be more blessed to be with these guys, solely just soaking up crypto knowledge and just bouncing ideas off, right? If someone has an idea, we all get into the clay and form it and make it to what it really needs to be. So it's been just awesome working with them, and I can't wait till people see what we've really made.
Dude, that I couldn't relate more, because honestly, it's fun to build, but it is so much fun to build with a group of people that are all super smart. They have their own level of experience and specialties, and you come together, and it's just like you get the creative juices flowing, and it's amazing. It's so much fun. Building in the way you guys are building is a little different than for me, because I had already built the protocol, and really it came to the nuance of it all coming together with the dev team. But for you guys, it sounds like it's a little different, because was it from the ground? I mean, you can ignore anything that I'm asking that is too much, asking too much, but was it like when you guys came together, you guys were all putting your creativity together? Or I'm assuming that's how it is, where you guys are all contributing and from different angles based on your past experience. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know for my journey, that was one of the most fun parts, is seeing the different experience, the different creativity coming together to make this thing come into what it is now today.
Yeah, it started off as a idea a couple people had kind of simultaneously. And we took kind of multiple pieces from other projects that we were potentially designing in the background, you know what I mean? But then we had the general idea, but then we got onto it, and then it just takes you in different angles and the conversation, how it goes. And, it says, maybe if we do this a little different over here, and then someone says, maybe that's not a good idea because of X, maybe if we do it like this, and every single thing, it started off with something a little bit more simple. And then what we have now is way farther than I thought it could take the first time we had a call. I'm going to be honest. It is pretty remarkable. And phase 1 is massive. Phase 2 couldn't be, it is like dramatically larger than phase 1. But phase 1 has to come out before phase 2. So.
Right. Makes perfect sense. But,
right.
But that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it's been awesome, and I can't wait. I can't wait till we have a big stream and go over it, and it's gonna be sick.
I want to have all you guys on. I want to do a 6-pack stream. And on that note too, who is the 6-pack? So it's you, it's James, and who else?
So I'm pretty sure everybody's doxed at this point. I don't think nobody. Yeah. So it's me, James, Dave, from Crypto Awesome, Dude, and Rich. You're muted.
Wait, you just said that too. I love that. That sounds like a solid team.
Yeah,
man, I can't wait to hear what you guys have been working on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to push for it sooner. I've been trying to push for this a public announcement for about a month now. So, but every time, we wanted to get a little more dialed in, a little bit more dialed in before we go public with it. So when we do go public, it's like, hey, here's everything. This is what it's going to do. This is what's happening.
It'll, you know what? It will be worth the wait. And as things go, you know how it is, because you've built Flare now. It's like, it feels like it's so long in the process until all of a sudden you're blinking one day and it's already happened. Yep. It's crazy how that works. So it'll happen sooner than we're all ready for. Torus will be like, I don't know, a month in at that point. We'll all have blinked and like, Torus launched a month ago. Right. Or however, it's insane. So I can't wait. I'm really excited to hear about what the 6-pack club's been whipping up. I hope you guys, no pressure, but the 6-pack club kind of, implies, some serious, like, muscular stature coming out of this club. Right. So, if that's the truth, 6-pack club is nothing to bat an eye at. You guys are going to be one tough group.
I think a couple of us are going for it. I don't know about everybody, but I think a couple people are going for it. So
sick. Nice. I love it. Ripped. You know what? That would actually potentially be a good marketing thing. But like, you want to join the 6-pack club? Here's the fitness challenge.
Right. 88-day fitness challenge.
Yeah. Or you have a different kind of 6-pack challenge, which, maybe that's actually not so healthy.
Right. I think we all know the 6-pack challenge you're talking
about. Yeah. That is not health advice. Please, for the love of God, don't take that.
That could be a stream in and of itself.
That would be that kind of 6-pack club stream would be, could get messy.
It wouldn't be so intellectual at a certain point. That's for sure.
No, but it could be quite entertaining. Yeah. And, anyways, dude, love it. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate you giving us anything Absolutely. You can on that. I really am excited to hear what you guys have been working on, because, oh man, we're getting into the fun part, man. ETH 3K or just about 3K. BTC cracked all-time highs today. This is the fun part that we've been waiting for 3 years, essentially. And speaking of waiting, you built Flare. You put it out. Flare's been waiting too for this, the onset of the bull here. Yep. Talk us through, how's Flare going? How's it been for you as a founder? And And what else? What else do you want to share? And I'll bring up the Flare website as well.
Cool. Yeah. So I think, and to be completely honest, Flare's going almost exactly kind of how I thought it would. And being the 11 weeks of minting came to an end. So there's no more creation of Flare actually coming about. So we are basically sitting at basically cap supply right now. Well, it is cap supply. We're sitting on 3 different chains. So we have 3 pairs on Pulse chain. So we have Titanx, Lotus, and Eden. We have 5 pairs or 6 pairs now on ETH. And then we have 5 pairs on base. So there's been a lot of arbitrage happening. The prices are a little different on each chain. Like on Pulse chain, Flare's price is 6.015, right? On base, it's 7.058, right? So there's different prices on different chains creating arbitrage. And that's what you see. If you go to the stats page, the liquid Flare is constantly going up and down. Overall, it's steadily going down, but people are seeing the arbitrage plays from ETH, bridging it to Pulse chain or bridging it to base. So we had a lot of burning and a lot of just movement between chains so far.
Dude, and I love this menu here. This is so cool. Just quick shout out on that. Like, I love this.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
And it's also significant when you're looking at the supply numbers. 46% liquid. There's already been 35. So how long has Flare been live for now?
I think 100
even roughly
12 days.
Oh yeah, okay, right. So not even 4 months yet.
Yep. So I wanted, the 11-week mint. That's the most volatile part. The daily auctions, that's going to happen, right? And so I wanted to I wasn't necessarily trying to time the bottom per se or go on the upslope, because this type of project is more of a long-term project, and it doesn't necessarily need to have a crazy start or a crazy middle or whatever. It just needs to balance out and then just let the whole ecosystem, pull it up. Plus, I'm making more stuff for it. So after the project that the Six Pack is putting out, then I'm going to start building out Flare. And I basically been building out the LPs, right? Creating different arbitrage and stuff like that. But I'm going to create basically kind of a staking situation for Flare. And I'm really excited to start that. Yeah.
Okay, that was some alpha we just got from you. I think you just dropped a bomb on us there, so we can.
Yeah,
so
that hasn't been said at all.
Flare, you heard it here first, folks. Flare has staking coming, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
I could drop some more alpha on that if you would like, and I would like to hear your opinion on it as well.
I would like.
Awesome. So
I would like that.
So basically, I'm still trying to get the total of what exactly is going to go in. But the theory of what I'm working with is people can come in with Ethereum and Flare, or just Ethereum, and stake in the Flare platform. And that Ethereum will go straight to creating a Ethereum USDC pair. And that pair is going to be having payouts forever and always. And depending on the percentages, I'm going to have a percent paying out you as the staker, getting ETH and USDC and Flare. A portion of that's going to be buying Flare and giving it to you. Portion of it is reinvesting into itself, and then a portion of it is being sent to the auction pool to buy and send to the auction pool. So you could basically come in and have forever payouts of ETH, USDC, and Flare.
That's cool. I like integrating the tokens that people, already associate with like real value. Tokens that people like will really want. Well, it's like real yield, real ETH yield, real USDC yield. That's a cool idea. I like that a lot. I think that's a different angle on staking than what we've seen. It's a different value proposition for Flare. for holding it for the future. And thanks for sharing that, dude. That's sick. Like, that is awesome. I was wondering if you're going to say something because you happen to say, you in passing, you're like, because there's more stuff coming for Flare, and then you just like moved on past it right away. And I was gonna call you, and I was like, wait.
Yeah.
But that's sick. So, is there? I don't even want to ask that. Maybe I will. Is there not that you want to? You have to put it out publicly, but do you have a time frame in your plan where you have forced staking, or is that still in the works of seeing the market, seeing development, audits, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I want to be fully, the project that the Six Pack is making, I want that to be kind of fully out, but in some part in between, before that, it's going to start being made. So I would think no later than like October it being out. I don't want to put a time on it, but like it's not going to take a crazy long time to code it and audit it really. So I'm, yeah, I wouldn't say a few months. It hasn't been started yet, but it's only going to take a few weeks to actually code. Of course, allegedly.
Okay. Oh, dude, yeah, that's the famous last words. It won't take very long at all. It's only 2 weeks.
Yep.
God,
Yeah.
I still can't believe that.
I really just want something, right? With Flare being such a light, just, it can really rip when it goes. If we set these pairs up and people are not only getting yield, right? That's amazing, but also we're adding real fees and real yield back into Flare system. And and that all of that will also come with a USDC buy and burn for Flare and a ETH buy and burn for Flare. So both of those, what is the USDC? USDC to Titan X to X28 to buy Flare to put in the auction. USD to the ETH, same thing. So basically adding 2 new buy and burns plus a whole staking section. So
I love it. That's a cool take, man. I'm really excited to see what you guys are working on with the Six Pack Club, see the staking, and then see the bull run and its impact on Flare and the whole ecosystem and how this all comes together. We are in for a very fun time, I think, over the next 6 months or so. Like,
hell yeah,
about damn time. Is there anything else is obviously Flare.win is where people can come to check out the site, to participate in the auctions, to pick up some supply, to see the stats. Telegram, what are their socials? Where can people come if they want to find more about Flare and whatever else you're up to?
Yeah, so Flare _win on Twitter /X. The Flare Telegram is Flare Win with nothing in between it. So it's basically the same thing. But overall, on this video, on your video and stuff, I'll drop kind of some socials or something like that. But yeah, just Flare Win on Telegram and Flare _win on X.
Perfect. Well, I think this is a perfect place to end. Is there anything else that you want to bring up? Anything else that you want to talk about or chat? If you guys are watching, you have any questions for Smooth about Flare, about the Six Pack Club, about staking, see if we can get any more answers out of him, or Torus for that matter. Anything you guys can think of. I'll leave that open for another minute or more, and I'll throw it back to you here, Smooth. Do you have anything else you want to bring up, talk about, go over?
I mean, overall, I think this was an amazing stream. I think not only did we cover a lot with Torus, we covered a lot with Flare, with Titan X as an ecosystem, and kind of, I think a big thing this stream has showed is how long me and you and other people in this space really are on crypto. We are not setting these systems up right now if we're not crazy long. And this is something I'm going to be working on and building out. Like Flare is something for me that it's a blessing that I just stumbled into this. It really is, because if I never made this, I never would have been in the Titan X Six Pack Club, right? I wouldn't have been in the ecosystem. I wouldn't have, people that I actually call friends in the ecosystem and community. So it's just all meant to be, man. And just everybody, I hope you found value in this stream. And I know Steve and Cryptographics are going to be absolutely hammering these stats as time goes on.
Oh yeah, but you said it so well. It's like there's so much good that comes from everything that's going. It's just unbelievable, you know. And again, I'm thankful for you to come on the stream. Thankful to have you as a fellow builder, or no, to meet me. Sorry, join you as a fellow builder, and everyone else. And I think that we've got something special cooking here, man. And I really can't wait to see where all this goes. And like you said, the time horizon is one of the most special things where, you know, we're all here for the long haul.
Yep.
You know, we're going to be here together, building out the community, building out the ecosystem, and hopefully winning to an extreme level together as well. So I don't see any more comments coming in. So this is a perfect place to end. So Smooth, man, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you all for watching. And if you are interested in Torus, or you just want to learn more about it, all the links following on X, into the Telegram or the DApp are all in the description below if you're looking on YouTube. If you're on X, on the Cryptographics channel, or if you're not, go to @Cryptographics, CRYPTOGRFX. And in my bio, you're going to see the link to Torus Win and to the Telegram groups and all the other stuff as well. So thank you for watching, Smooth. Thank you for being here. And have a great, I guess it's not Friday yet. Friday in Australia. So happy Friday to my Australians. And I'll see you guys very soon, because we got a whole lot to talk about now.
Hell yeah.
So see you guys in the next one. And